everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I am doing a Halloween double header and starting off with this kit, Haunted Mansion from ButterCremeStickers. I mentioned in my sticker haul with this kit that the blacks are really deep and saturated and gray, and it's kind of like a spooky, elegant situation. Also really love the kind of mismatched washi here with the gray and green. So yeah, let's get into it. So as I said, I'll be doing a Halloween doubleheader. By doubleheader, I mean two plan with me's with two different kits. This is the first one, and again, it's Haunted Mansion. So in the spirit of Halloween, I thought I would do some Halloween tag questions. I found a couple, and I'm already kind of laughing in my head at what my answer is going to be to this. So, name something you wouldn't want to run into in a dark forest or in an abandoned building. Is it okay for me to say a dark forest or an abandoned building? Like, I don't want to be in these places, period. So I wouldn't want to run into anything there, much less, like, be in there. But I wouldn't want to run into another person who I didn't know, so a stranger. I certainly wouldn't want to run into anything supernatural, but like, I think literally finding anything in a place where you're not expecting other people or animals or anything to be in would be really scary. I feel like if I was in a dark forest and I ran into like a wolf or another scary animal like a bear or something, that would be really scary. But I just don't want to be in a dark forest at night or in the day or an abandoned building. Have you ever played with a Ouija board? No. You know, I get the feeling, so I have never actually seen one of these things in real life. And I feel like my parents would have just been like, no, you cannot play with anyone who has one of these, and we certainly are not going to get this for you. So, yeah, I've never seen one of these. I've never played with them, but I do have a curiosity. I mean, yeah, I do have a curiosity. I feel like people are just moving it with their hands to be spooky, which, you know, if, like, it would be fun, I guess, to all get in a group and decide, okay, we're gonna, like, move it, you know, but I've never seen one or played with one. Favorite horror monster or villain? This is a good one. Okay, so I have a basic and a non-basic answer. The basic answer is Michael from the Halloween series. And why? It's because he never speaks. I think the thing that's like really terrifying about Michael is that he's just like relentless kind of murder machine, and you never really understand what is this dude's problem. Like, what is his damage? Why is he going around killing? Like, he doesn't have a motive, you know? It's just like, I mean, you get his backstory in some of the movies, like people explain, but you never hear him talk. He's just like this like silent force of like, oh my gosh. So that's a basic answer. The non-basic answer is, I have to say, because this movie has stuck with me, Jack from the Lars von Trier movie, The House That Jack Built. Okay, this movie is very violent and creepy, so I would not recommend that you watch it unless you have, like, the stomach for that. But I watched it on a, like, I was like, I wonder what this movie's about, and I just watched it, and it's pretty gruesome. But the reason why I picked him as my favorite, or like that I found him really intriguing, is that the entire movie he's having kind of this philosophical conversation with Virgil, which, like, the poet Virgil. And I just thought that was an interesting framing, because like he's kind of a bit narcissistically examining his motives, and he's a bit of an unreliable narrator, but he's that whole convention of like, I'm in conversation with this person, which is kind of like I'm having a philosophical conversation with myself, I thought was really interesting. But yeah, that movie is horrendous. So unless you're a dyed-in-the-wool horror fan, and I would not suggest watching it. It's very rough. It was rough. Even for me, who watches a lot of horror movies, that was rough. The creepiest thing that's ever happened to you while you were alone. Um, I've mentioned a few times like the creepiest thing that's happened to me and my family, like with the where we left and like the table was broken and all the heads of the figurines came off. But like when I'm by myself, I'm trying to think. Um, so in my car, I just kind of moved house recently in the last few months, and I was at home alone, and the door to my office is like the hinges are very light, or they're not very like, I don't know how to describe it. They swing very easily, but I didn't know this. So I'm sitting there, at my desk. I think I was planning actually, and I had like something playing on my laptop, and the door, which has previously been shut, just swings open, just very casually, but it swings all the way open. Like it doesn't like just crack a little bit, it swings all the way open. And I just looked at the door, and it was one of these things where I just sat there for a second being like, what is about to happen? I hadn't heard my boyfriend come in, so I knew he wasn't at home. Like I would have heard the front door. So I was like, what on earth? And then I just kind of went outside, looked around, but I realized later that the door hinges are very like loose. So it kind of just, yeah. But that was scary. That was really creepy. If you were dared to spend the night in a haunted house, would you do it? This is going to sound a little wild. I think I would do it. It really depends on a couple of things. One, is the house is like the structural integrity of the house good? Because I don't want to spend the night somewhere in a haunted house and then like a beam fall out of the roof and like I, get hurt. Like I don't want that. But I live in the Bay Area, and there's the Winchester Mystery House, which, as you all know, is the house of Sarah Winchester. She built it with all these rooms, staircases that go nowhere, etc. Would I spend the whole night in that house? Yeah, I would. I mean, it's open for tours, so it's definitely like I don't think anything scary would happen, again, other than some creaky floorboards or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't stay in like an abandoned house where I was worried about the ceiling caving in on me, because I don't want that. Are you superstitious? I would say lightweight. So like I don't actually think a lot of these like superstition things will actually happen, but I feel this like, I don't know, I feel like it's tradition kind of, and I'm all about upholding tradition. I don't know, it's in kind of a lightweight way. So there's this superstition, kind of, I guess you could call it a Guyanese superstition, from the country my parents are from, where if you sweep someone's foot while you're like cleaning up and sweeping, they're not going to get any money. So when I'm sweeping, I will avoid sweeping people's feet just to, like, it's like, I don't actually think that means that they're not going to get money. But, it's just kind of like a tradition thing that I feel like I want to participate in. Same thing as like, if you give someone a purse, you need to put $1 in it. Otherwise, it's like bad luck, or it's like bad juju for them. So like that kind of stuff, I feel like I am more traditional and superstitious. Like I'm not really worried that something bad's going to happen, but it's just like, this is just what you do, Do you prefer gore or thrillers? Definitely thrillers. I would say movies that are like creepy stick with me longer, and I haven't had nightmares about a movie in a really long time, but I find those more interesting than like, out and out violence, or, like kind of just like, yeah, like gore where you're just like, ugh, I can't believe that happened, or that was really gross. I wouldn't say I'm totally averse to some gore, but like the Saw series, for example, just felt like relentless gore, unnecessary, it didn't move the story forward. It was just like shock value. I actually think for the Saw, I haven't seen the most recent one with Chris Rock. Is that Spiral? Like the Saw origin story. The first like 2 of the Saw ones were really good, but it did feel like a lot of gratuitous violence. So I'm much more about like creepy movies. There's this movie I want to watch called Vivarium. It's with What is that guy's name? He was the main character in The Social Network, that movie. I want to say it's like Jesse Eisenberg, maybe. And I forget who the other person is. There's another like female lead in there. But it's about this couple. They go to look to find a house. They're going to buy a house. They go to meet the real estate agent in the neighborhood. Then they discover they can't get out of the neighborhood. And so like hijinks unfold. But it's really creepy. And it's not scary. I don't think there will be... Well, I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't think there's going to be much gore, but it seems like the idea is, like, really creepy. I remember watching the preview and being like, whoa. I was like, oh, I should watch that. Then I was like, wait, no. I think I'm going to get scared. So, I think I will end up watching it, but definitely thrillers. Do you believe in multiple dimensions or worlds? I don't think so. I feel like... So in a multiverse sense of like, there may be, in like a scientific, like there may be other dimensions out there and other timelines and blah, 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 maybe. But I'd say in general, no. I don't really believe there's like a spirit world and there are ghosts and stuff. I mean, the idea conceptually is like interesting to me, but I just don't think so. I don't think so. Ever made a potion of any sort? That's going to be a negatory on that one, too. I feel like if you're making a potion, it's for some, like, that strikes me as just, like, I don't know, very nefarious reasons. Maybe that's not true. Maybe you're making, like, a love potion or something, and it's because you want something out of life. But, like, that just wouldn't be my go-to, you know? Yeah. You're home alone, but you hear footsteps in your house. What do? I reach for something that I can use as a weapon. I feel like this is a pretty normal response, but I'm reaching for something that I can defend myself with. So, you know, I don't know what that is. Whatever's nearby. If I'm in the kitchen, obviously I'm reaching for, you know, kitchen tools, knives, etc. If I'm like in another room in the house, I'm just reaching for something heavy and going to hide somewhere. So those are the two things that I'm doing. Hiding somewhere where I can see what's behind me, so like in a closet or something, and then making sure that I have a weapon, and probably grabbing my cell phone. Oh, let me say that. Grabbing my cell phone for sure. I'm not going to call 911 until I know what's going on because, you know, you're not supposed to abuse the emergency alert system. But at the same time, I need to be prepared just in case. Because you never know. If I heard footsteps when I was at home alone, yeah. I would grab my cell phone, a weapon, hide somewhere, and yeah, prepare for the worst, not knowing what'll happen, but we'll see. So I'm coming to the end of the spread. Be sure to check out part 2, which should be coming out very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my Halloween Q&A, and I will see you all over there. Bye!